What's up, everybody? It's LaMuerteBlanca, and we're back with our last Yakuza Explained video, at least until Like a Dragon 2, but this time we are discussing Yakuza 6. That's right, the epic finale of Kiryu Kazuma's saga is finally upon us. Thankfully, or not, depending on your preference, we are back just playing as Kiryu, so this one won't be as convoluted or crazy as 4 or 5, but it's still going to get pretty insane. These games are all amazing and worth playing, but if you're one of those that cannot spare the 20 plus hours to play the game or the 10 plus hours to watch all the cutscenes, don't worry, I got you. Yakuza 6 opens with Kiryu enjoying himself at a bar. Let's just get this out the way now. Yes, bars are still a big thing in this game. While sipping his drink, some punk ass named Nagumo rolls up, knocks the shit out of Kiryu's drink, so we knock the shit out of him. By the way, we're in Hiroshima for reasons that will get explained later. Kiryu gets back to the bar, and at first you think the drinks aren't strong enough because he starts messing with a suspicious white powder. But hold up, that's a baby bottle. Does Kiryu have a fucking kid? Because this series likes to confuse everyone, we immediately time hop back to the events right after Yakuza 5. There's a flashback at the end of that game, and if you haven't seen it, why haven't you watched my Yakuza 5 video yet? Go ahead, we'll be here when you get back. After said flashback, we find Kiryu all kinds of messed up. Taiga's going back to jail again. My man seriously cannot catch a break, and this time these dumbass cops take a step further by also arresting Kiryu. The man prevented a full-on Yakuza war, saved your dumbass cops all kinds of hassle, and you're gonna throw him in jail? Japan's finest at it again. Kiryu's arrest is just the cops trying to save face after 7 games of pure incompetency. Kiryu decides to accept his 3-year sentence because he's still trying to protect those he holds dear, specifically Haruka and the Morning Glory kids from the public backlash. While he's in jail, Haruka is taking care of Morning Glory, but is struggling with the media fallout her confession caused during her last idol show. Haruka doesn't want her bad press to ruin things for the Morning Glory kids, so she asks herself, what would Kiryu do? And ultimately decides to run away. So again, the Morning Glory kids are left to fend for themselves. You know they're gonna have some hardcore abandonment issues if they don't already. Back in Kamurocho, Little Asia is burning to the ground. We all know this is a giant conspiracy already because 1, this is a Yakuza game, but also because there is a suspect looking dude and 3 other unknown toasting to whatever deal they just set up. 3 years pass and Uncle Cass has made it back to Morning Glory. But wait, where is Haruka? Of course, Kiryu decides to go looking for her, and what better place to start than Kamurocho. Before leaving, Kiryu promises the Morning Glory kids that he and Haruka will be back soon. Let's just keep that in the back of your head for now. So again, Kiryu ends up in this damn city and he's searching for Akiyama, hoping he's heard something about Haruka. Naturally, he runs into Date. Date explains Kamurocho is going to hell again. This time, there's a war between the Tojo and the Chinese Triads. The Little Asia fire gave the Triads the opportunity to move in. Majima and Dojima have been arrested, and some random advisor named Sugai is running the Tojo now. Akiyama also went into hiding because the Triads are after his ass, so Kiryu has to go on a wild goose chase to find him. Just another day in Kamurocho. After jumping through a bunch of unnecessary hoops, Akiyama is exactly where you'd expect, homeless and underground, but he doesn't know anything about Haruka. Then they get interrupted by Ed, which is a really weird name for a Triad boss. They take care of the Triads as they always do gangs who interrupt their conversations, and then Kiryu gets a call from Date. Haruka is here, but she's been in a life-threatening accident and it's not looking good. So Kiryu rushes to the hospital. Akiyama tries to follow but gets stopped by a nurse who says he smells like ass, and Haruka was in a hit and run and the person who did it is still at large. But wait, as if this couldn't get any more complicated, it turns out that the baby Kiryu had in the first couple of scenes is actually Haruka's baby. Haruka runs away from home to go and get herself knocked up. Another point for Haruka's bad decisions. This decision's name is Haruto. Naturally, Kiryu is super distraught and immediately starts a manhunt for the culprit. At the crime scene, Kiryu gets more information about the gang wars that are sprouting up around Kamurocho. Turns out the only son to the Triad boss, Jimmy Lo, was murdered. Then Daigo gets arrested and other gangs start sneaking in, including the Jingle Mafia. Remember them from Yakuza 2. Then Kiryu finds someone creeping on him. He chases this dude down and finds out he's being spied on by none other than the Tojo. And just like that, Kiryu's back at Tojo HQ where he meets Somea, a young punk who needs to learn his place, and Sugai, a Yakuza vet that only got the chairman spot due to his seniority. The whole meeting is basically Somea talking shit and Kiryu threatening to bury the entire Tojo clan if they had anything to do with Haruka's condition. Date calls and Kiryu ends up in the hospital again. Akiyama doesn't smell like ass anymore, and some dick from child services wants to put Haruto in an orphanage. Kiryu's all like, fuck that, I'm not letting this kid get in the orphanage life like I did, and goes to kidnap Haruto. Clearly, the hospital has zero security because you can't just walk in and take a baby. Akiyama tries to stop Kiryu, but we all know there is only one way to convince Kiryu of anything, so they fight. In a tiny-ass nursery, but don't worry, no babies were harmed, to my knowledge. Kiryu just strolls out the hospital with a baby, but it's okay because Date ends up convincing child services that his ex-Yakuza buddy, who's always on the news for assault, is okay to take care of this child by himself. Date was also able to pull the data from Haruka's cell phone, and she spent some time in Hiroshima. Kiryu believes Hiroshima is the most likely place to find Haruto's father and kick his ass for not being there for his child. As a father myself, I can respect that. Before Kiryu leaves, Date warns him about the Yomei Alliance, the third strongest Yakuza clan behind the Tojo and the Omi, and they're the ones that are running Hiroshima. So with nothing but a baby, a small bag of who knows what, and the same outfit he's been wearing for 5+ games, we are off to Hiroshima. If you've seen my other Yakuza Explained videos, you probably already know Kiryu's first move. That's right, everyone. Say it with me. He goes to a bar. Damn this game. Kiryu finds himself at the bar we were at the very beginning of the game and is run by a nice lady named Kiyomi, who suspiciously looks like a younger version of Sayama's mom from Yakuza 2. And this is also the first time we run into Nagumo. He's the captain of the Hirose family, but they're small time, so no one really cares at this point. Then we get a bunch of filler. Basically, it's a series of events that leads us to kicking Nagumo's ass multiple times, including the time at the very beginning of the game, which closes our time loop. So back on track and back at the bar, Haruto is enjoying his dinner, and messed up Nagumo gets his ass tossed on the floor by Masuzoe, patriarch of the family that oversees the Hirose. Basically, Nagumo is in trouble because he refuses to do collections on Kiyomi. Kiryu sees Nagumo's true character and decides to leave his baby with an almost complete stranger and save a guy who keeps trying to kick his ass from getting completely destroyed by somebody else. Naturally, after being saved, Nagumo goes from completely despising Kiryu to begging him to be his Anaki. So I guess they're homies now. Nagumo brings Kiryu around to meet the other members of the Hirose family, but the only two you really need to care about are Hirose, the patriarch himself, as well as Yuta. The next morning, Kiryu stops by Hirose family HQ to tell them about Haruto's father. Kiryu shows them a picture of Haruka, and they immediately start acting sus as fuck. Kiryu easily sees through their shit, but doesn't call them out just yet. That night, Kiryu hears one of the Hirose fam got into some shit, so he tries to help. Outside the HQ, Masuzoe is waiting for Kiryu. He wants revenge for the ass beating he got earlier, but all he gets is just another ass beating. While Masuzoe is graveling like a little bitch, he gets interrupted by Koshimizu, captain of the Yomei Alliance, who knows exactly who Kiryu is and calls Nagumo out for knowing who Kiryu is as well. You're telling me this guy who has the balls to call Kiryu his Anaki has been lying to him this whole time? Much later, Nagumo shows up at Kiryu's place to apologize and come clean. The truth is, everyone knew who Haruka was, but it was clear that she was trying to escape her past. They didn't think it was their place to share information about someone who was trying to disappear. Unfortunately, Nagumo doesn't know anything about Haruto's father because it's likely that Haruka left Hiroshima around the time when she got pregnant. But you know who might know something? Haruka's boss while she was living in Hiroshima, Kiyomi. Say what? Kiyomi's been lying too? Who can we trust at this point? I'll tell you, no one. Well, maybe Date, but after that, no one. Or Akiyama too. But again, nobody else. Kiryu goes looking for Kiyomi, where we finally get her side of the story. Kiyomi learned how desperate Haruka was when she first got to Hiroshima, so she offered her a place to stay and a job. One night, much later in that timeline, Haruka showed up crying, but Kiyomi never asked why. The day after, Haruka disappeared. This is likely having to do something with the pregnancy. Damn it, she doesn't know who Haruka's father is though, but she does have an idea. It might be, and of course we get interrupted by, wait, Somea? What the hell is he doing here? Somea is here to swear an oath with Koshimizu, the Yomei captain. It's also clear that Kiyomi has some kind of history with Somea, but Kiryu can't worry about that now. He needs more information on Haruka. But we actually need to worry about it now because back at Hirose HQ, a homie busts in and tells us that Kiyomi was kidnapped by the Tojo. They need to save Kiyomi but can't risk the Yomei finding out who they are, so don't worry. Hirose has a foolproof plan. That's right, ski masks. Looking like Muppet Show rejects, they zoom up to the hotel, start busting everybody's ass, and make their way to the hotel bathhouse. Like an idiot, Nagumo walks in the sauna in pants, a big-ass coat, and a wool sock on his head. And even more like an idiot, when he finally realizes that the saunas are actually hot, he takes off the mask, revealing who he is. At this point, there's no reason to hide, so Kiryu takes his mask off, and that's where he finds Somaya in the sauna. After Somaya listens to himself talk for a while, he rips his towel off to distract Kiryu with his tiny dick and runs away. Fun fact, Somaya is also a magician because I have no idea how the hell he just magically found another towel while he's running through this hotel. Kiryu chases Somaya all the way to his room and then whoops his ass. Koshimizu walks in and then shows Kiryu the nice dinner that Kiyomi is currently enjoying. Very unkidnapped-like. Somaya walks in and then says Kiyomi is his ex-wife. Huh? And she was invited to this dinner party as his guest. Also at this party is Kurusu, chairman of Iwami Shipbuilding and the Yomei Alliance. The Iwami group is basically a front for the Yomei. The chairman's son, Sueno Iwami, is also here. After all the effort it took to get to this point, Kurusu wants to talk somewhere else, so they leave their fancy dinner and get on a boat. Yup. A boat. Kurusu wants Kiryu to witness the oath between the Yomei and the Tojo, and Kiryu's stamp of approval might keep other groups like the Omi from revolting. After all the trouble it took to get Kiryu on this boat, he's like, nah, I'm good. Witness these nuts. But in all reality, Kiryu is denying the request because Tsugaye is only a temporary chairman, and an oath without Daigo's permission would be an act of treason, even though Kiryu's a civilian. Kurusu's punk son tries to grow up hair and says if you don't accept, we might have to go hit up the Omi. And Kiryu fires back like, I don't give a fuck what you do. I'm a civilian, bitch. Witness these nuts. And that's it. They all get on a boat to settle absolutely nothing. Don't ask. I'm really not sure why I'm so fixated on the fact that they're on a boat. Just go with it. Anyway, after Kiryu gets off said boat, he heads to the Hirose family HQ, where we finally get to hear who Kiyomi thinks the father is. It might be Tatsukawa. Who is that? Good question. I don't know either, but Yuta does. Tatsukawa is an old friend of Yuta and used to be in the Hirose family. Kiyomi overheard him talking on the phone about getting rid of a baby right before Haruka disappeared. Last time anyone heard, Tatsukawa was in Kamurocho. Not the best lead, but it's the best Kiryu has, so guess where we're going. But before he leaves, we find out Kiyomi has even more secrets. Her and Somaya have a kid. Huh? What else are you hiding, girl? This is going to be big later on, don't worry. Also, Kiryu decides to just leave Haruto with Kiyomi. The guy literally met this girl a couple days ago, but then again, baby can't fight, so he might be a liability if we go back to Kamurocho. Tatsukawa used to be the host, so maybe Kiryu's old buddies at Stardust would be able to help. They roll up, Yuta gets his ass tossed, and Kiryu's all like, don't worry, I'm cool with the owners. Door guy says, no you're not, get the fuck on. Conveniently, Yuya strolls up, looking like business, and they catch up over dinner that seemingly never gets served. I mean, there is no one at this restaurant. They had this long ass conversation. No one's cooking food on the table. Don't see any waiters. I mean, the food might be an 8 or a 9, but the service is the 2, so who knows. We learned that Jing Wong had been buying up all the real estate in the area, including Stardust. Good news though, Tatsukawa actually used to work at Stardust. Life is full of little conveniences as well because Jungi Han, Stardust's new owner, walks in. This man really thinks he can rock the floor's no shirt look. I'm not buying it. He doesn't even have a cool robe. After searing his own bouncer's face for disrespecting Kiryu, Jungi invites everyone to Stardust, where he will answer all of their questions. At the club, we learn has been converted into a full-blown male host club. I mean, not my thing personally, but the man's smart for hitting a completely untapped market. Tatsukawa no longer works there, but Jungi is willing to offer a hint if Kiryu fights in his ring. See how he's trying to be a florist poser? Kiryu says, I'm not playing your horny girl games. Yuta is more determined, but not determined enough to keep himself from getting his ass beat. Of course, this stirs Kiryu into getting involved, and Jugin gets his ass beat. Jungi Han is a man of his word and tells Kiryu that Tatsukawa was very likely an informant for the Triads. He also shares his address. Finally, they get a chance to confront the alleged father. Not really. You probably forgot. This is a Yakuza game. That man is dead. Someone rolled up and straight cut down Tatsukawa. If you didn't think it was getting real before, well, here we are. The next day, Date says Tatsukawa was likely murdered by the Triads, his own gang. This leads Kiryu thinking the Triads might have something to do with Haruka's accident, which leads Kiryu wanting to track down our Chinese friend with the not-so-Chinese name, Ed. Kiryu recruits Akiyama to help and learns the Tojo, once again, are completely fucked because they were the ones that started the fire and allowed the Triads to move in. Say what? Why would they do that? Daigo wouldn't. You're right. Daigo wouldn't. But Tsugaye would in an effort to get rid of Daigo. That's right, Sugai's two-faced ass teamed up with the Triads, set the fire to Little Asia to let the Triads in, and incited a quote-unquote war to get Daigo in jail. But now it's really gone to shit because the war turned real once Jimmy got murdered. Sugai and Somea are not happy about Kiryu coming back because they're trying to take over the Tojo for themselves. Akiyama starts talking about dreams and shit, but no one cares. I was too busy trying to figure out why this guy with a selfie stick had to take his photo 15 times.
東上会と中国マフィアの抗争に加えて人言派が町中の風俗店を買い占めています。ご存知かどうか、スターダストもその餌食になりました。
Kiryu meets Akiyama in Little Asia, who has a foolproof plan to get to Ed. Ski masks, again. So we don our favorite ski mask and start busting ass all over Little Asia only to get to Ed and take the ski mask off. Seriously, why are we even putting it on at this point? Kiryu asks Ed about Tatsukawa. Ed sliced that man up because he betrayed the Triad, and we all get a history lesson on the Heihaisi, the children born outside of the Chinese one-kid rule. Basically, these kids don't exist in the Chinese government, so many get smuggled to Japan and then owe favors to the Triads at a later date. This will be important. Ed stops answering questions and wants to fight. Add him to the long list of Yakuza characters who didn't learn their lesson the first time they got their ass whooped by Kiryu, and right before Yuta tries to finish him off, gun goes off. The fuck is Masuzoe doing here? Wait, he's been tried this whole time? Bossman is also here. Big Lo himself. He says we can call him Lo, but the game actually calls him Big Lo, and that's so much funnier. So that's what we're going with the rest of this video. While Big Lo is chatting with Kiryu, he whispers something in Chinese to Masuzoe. Yuta knows the Chinese and is all like, huh? Even though we busted in and busted up his whole gang, Big Lo's willing to meet Kiryu for a nice chat the next day in the ruins of Shangri-La. Afterwards, Yuta tells everyone what Big Lo said. Basically, he said the secret Hiroshima holds can never be revealed. Oh shit. That's more conspiracy. What secret? Whose secret? What happens if it's revealed? So many questions. Then Somea walks in. He wants to chat with Big Lo and end the fighting. I think he's full of shit, but Kiryu believes him and brings him along. It's a damn shame too. Shangri-La was a nice ass building, and now it's a homeless house that has a really creepy BDSM guy that either wants to kill you or suck your dick. I really can't tell considering what he's wearing, and he's chasing you the entire time. They finally make it to Big Lo. He's not a fan of Somea and starts confirming everything Akiyama said. The Tojo invited the Triads to Kamurocho. The Tojo killed Jimmy Lo. The Tojo started a fake war to get Daigo in jail. Somea then pulls a gun on Big Lo. Kiryu's naturally like, what the fuck are you doing? I trusted you. And proceeds to beat Somea's ass again. Afterwards, Big Lo just lets Somea go. He's not the one who killed Jimmy. It was Sueno Iwami. He's the one trying to control Tojo leadership. He's the one that tried to kill Big Lo, messed up, and got Little Lo, aka Jimmy, killed. Sugai and Somea are just pawns in Iwami's plan. Enough Yakuza conspiracy BS. Tell us about Tatsukawa. That actually won't be necessary. What do you mean? He's not even Haruto's father. No fucking way. We've been playing this game how many hours and we've been chasing the wrong dude this whole time? And on top of that, somehow Haruto bears a great significance in the War of Kamurocho. How the hell does this baby have any significance in the criminal underworld? Kiryu gets a call then from Yuta. Hirose disappeared with Haruto. Oh shit. The homies immediately rush back to Hiroshima. Kiryu hears Koshimizu and the Yome are looking for Hirose, probably because they want the baby for some reason. Because this entire game so far has been nothing but a bunch of scavenger hunts, we start looking for Hirose. Kiryu gets stopped by Koshimizu. Dude tries to do his best Majima impression, but his knife isn't even that cool, so he gets his ass beat. I mean, Majima's always getting his ass beat too, but still. Kiryu's about to ask Koshimizu his questions, but with perfectly terrible timing, Nagumo knocks him out with a bottle. Good news is, Hirose rolls up with Haruto, claiming to have all of their answers. And here we are, the epic conversation in each game that blows this whole thing up. Get ready, I'm about to get loud. Hirose hasn't been completely honest about everything, naturally, and has been watching over Haruto since he was born. Why? It has to do with why everyone's been chasing him. Why? It has to do with Haruto's real father. Who? Haruto's real father is Yuta. No fucking way. What? Yuta and Haruka were together one night, and Yuta didn't even know he was the father, which is why this portion of the video is brought to you by condoms. Wrap it up, gentlemen, or you might find yourself in a Yakuza-infested conspiracy. Nagumo starts kicking everyone's ass while holding the baby, but the level-headed Kiryu has a good point when he says this shit doesn't make sense. When Masuzoe shows up, what the fuck? Whose side are you on, dude? Then we learn Masuzoe and Tatsukawa really are triads and they're watching Yuta since he was a kid. Bam! Yuta is the heir to the entire triad lineage. Bam! Everyone thought Jimmy was Bigelow's only son, but Yuta is Jimmy's younger brother. Bam! This secret was kept so there wouldn't be a war of succession within the Triad. Also, the Triad needed Yuta as an insurance policy in case Jimmy died, aka this exact situation. Bam! The heir of the Triads, Yuta, made an impure child, which is why Tatsukawa, who works for the Triads, was trying to get Haruka to abort the baby, which is why Kiyomi heard the call, which is why Haruka disappeared. Bam! It's all coming together now, and just like always, it's completely fucked. But don't worry, it gets worse. Tatsukawa is the one responsible for Haruka's accident. More on that later. Then a bunch of random dudes in black roll up. They want Haruto, which means Kiryu has to fight off another gang while everyone else plays hot potato with a fucking baby. Jungi Han rolls up looking to fight Kiryu. Huh? The Jing Wong are going after Haruto now? Because everyone but Kiryu are completely useless, Haruto gets kidnapped. Nagumo gets a lead. Yuta has an existential crisis. I mean, he did find out he was the father and the leader of the Chinese mafia all in one night. Kiryu throws Yuta through a glass door. Kiryu does the whole soul-searching man speech. Kiryu threatens Yuta's life. Yuta sees the light. They all go rescue Haruto. On the way there, Kiryu calls out Hirose. What's the connection between the Triads and Hiroshima? Turns out, Kurusu has been working with the Triads since World War II, when Bigelow's dad, Biggerlow, was having the Yomei help them with the Heiheise. Kurusu smuggled the Chinese into Japan and even forged their documents. A squad pulls up to where they're keeping Haruto, and Kiryu proceeds to obliterate the entire Jingwon mafia. Before Kiryu kicks Jungi's ass, he tells him that Iwami was the one that helped Jingwon's resurgence. Iwami wanted the Jingwon to fan the Tojo Triad War, and they were the ones that actually killed Jimmy. Haruka getting hit by Tatsukawa was an accident. After he tried to get Haruka in his car, she ran, he tried to catch her, and then she actually ended up under the car. Jungi Han gets his ass kicked and is about to tell Hiroshima's big secret when BAM! Of course, he gets shot in the head. Oh yeah, by the way, Masazo is dead too. Good news is the squad got Haruto back, so they regroup at Hirose HQ. We learn Iwami is a little punk bitch who's mad that daddy won't give him control of the Yomei, so he's going behind Pop's back and is responsible for the shitstorm that we're all currently in. Kiryu and Yuta also decide they're going back to Kamurocho to cut ties with the Triads. Yuta sneaks away to do it by himself, and it ends up setting the entire place on fire. He's hell-bent on killing himself along with Bigelow. Kiryu gets pissed, says, "What's your son gonna do without a father?" and proceeds to beat the shit out of Yuta in a burning building. They all escape, and Bigelow says the Triads will stay away from Yuta and Haruto. Bigelow is one of the few left that actually know the secret of Hiroshima, and Kurusu has a hitman that has been killing people left and right to protect the secret. Yuta's attempt to kill Bigelow was actually incited by this hitman. Hirose? Huh? No way. You're telling me Hirose has been Kurusu's hitman and has been playing dumb this whole time? He even murdered Masazoe and Jungi Han because they had become liabilities in order to keep the secret. The reason why the kid is so important is because he's a massive bargaining chip to try and get Bigelow to disappear. Again, trying to protect the secret. What is this damn secret? Turns out Bigelow doesn't even actually know the secret. What? On Bigelow's deathbed, he left Bigelow clues to uncover it, but Bigelow could never figure it out. He was bluffing when he renegotiated the Heiheise deal with Kurusu. Bigelow wanted to stay away from Kurusu from that point on in order to limit the chance of getting caught in his bluff. But Iwami struck a deal with Jimmy behind everyone's back. Jimmy got drunk one night and told Iwami the truth that Bigelow didn't actually know the secret, so at that point forward, Iwami had Bigelow by the balls and forced the Triads to comply with the fake war plan. After Daigo got arrested, Iwami didn't need the Triads anymore, so that's why he's trying to kill them all. And of course, he's doing all of this so he can control the Tojo. Later, Bigelow gives Kiryu a microfilm and asks him to reveal the secret. Bigelow's as good as dead at this point since he broke the bloodline lineage. Kiryu and Date make Yuta stay with the family, and Kiryu goes back to Hiroshima again. There's a small cinematic that introduces Daidoji. Long story short, he's a corrupt political cherry on this Yakuza collusion Sunday. Basically, he's in cahoots with Kurusu. After some convincing, Kiryu gets the Hirose boys to join him on a most annoying scavenger hunt of this entire game. They actually crack the code and end up at a shipyard where, you guessed it, they have to beat the shit out of everybody. They make it to the door hiding the secret when they get attacked by a guy in another ski mask. Guy starts talking when we immediately know it's Hirose. Again, not sure why he even had the ski mask on in the first place, but then Kiryu has to beat the hell out of him too, so he does. Then a massive alarm goes off and everything starts shaking. one of the Hirose homies actually pulled a lever in the secret room, and he probably shouldn't have touched it because guess what? The secret's out. Why is there a massive battleship just chilling underneath the Hiroshima harbor? Conveniently, Kurusu rolls up to answer all of those questions and tells us that that is actually the most classified military secret in all of Japan. As you could guess, he tells a very long story that I'm going to oversimplify, so here it goes. Government wanted to build a big boat with guns. They weren't supposed to build a big boat with guns, so they did it anyway with illegal money and supported an underground criminal organization, the Yome, to keep the secret for generations. Chinese refugees worked on it, which is why the Triads know the secret. Big boat is proof of governmental collusion. Kurusu then tells Hirose to kill everyone. Hirose for the first time hesitates and he immediately catches a bullet from Kurusu. Kurusu then just walks away. Hirose says to let him go because at this point he's just a dead man walking. He takes his final breath and dies. In the Kurusu's office, Iwami's snake ass made a new deal with Daidoji and started whining about how daddy wouldn't let him manage the Yome. Then Koshimizu rolls up with a gun. Iwami takes his shirt off for literally no reason other than to show off his shitty tattoo and walks off while Koshimizu kills Kurusu. Daidoji tells Iwami that if he can kill Kiryu before he dies, Iwami can be the new Yome chairman. He's pissed because they revealed the secret. Back in Haruka's hospital room, no way. Haruka is finally awake. The next day, Somea warns Kiryu that Iwami's coming for that ass. Naturally, this means Haruka's in danger, so we're going back to Kamurocho. Really getting our mileage on this one, aren't we, Kiryu? Kiryu goes to Haruka's hospital where they have a very touching moment, and then Kiryu decides to get serious. He's tired of all these tacky-ass suit-wearing, fake-ass, no-hands-throwing bitches trying to go after his family. Daidoji wants Kiryu's head, he's gonna give it to him, and these hands. He calls Somea like, where the fuck is Sugai and Iwami? I'm coming for that ass. Kiryu gives another heartfelt goodbye to Haruka and Haruto, gets the homies, and goes straight to Millennium Tower so they can go fuck up Sugai. You can tell Kiryu's beyond pissed too because he doesn't even talk this time. He just rolls up, decks the first motherfucker he sees in the mouth, and starts ripping the whole place apart. Fuck your henchman, fuck your Gatling gun, fuck your helicopter, let's go Kiryu. Finally, he makes it to Sugai's office. Sugai and Koshimizu are hiding inside a flat screen TV, and Somea pulls up with a katana. Kiryu puts down Somea for the third time, only to find Sugai has Kiyomi hostage. The deal was that if Somea killed Kiryu, Kiyomi would be able to go free. Iwami pulls up and makes Kiryu a secondary offer. Kill Somea, or they're killing Kiyomi. In order to save the mother of his child, Somea performs seppuku on himself and straight guts himself open. Koshimizu still puts the gun to Kiyomi's head, turns the video feed off, and fires his weapon. No fucking way, he did not just kill her. What about the kid? With his dying breath, Somea makes Nagumo promise to look after his child. Man has a change of heart, but unfortunately doesn't live to see it through. Damn. This pisses Kiryu off even more, and after breaking a nice-ass TV, Nagumo tips him off to where Iwami and Sugai will be. Fucking hell, now we're going back to Hiroshima apparently. Kiryu and Nagumo decide to go alone and fully expect to die trying, which is weird considering Kiryu's been through way crazier shit up to this point. Anyway, they roll up to Kurusu's funeral and put the whole gang on their asses. Koshimizu sashimi's Nagumo, but he gets his in the end. Kiryu's not fucking around because he caves Koshimizu's face in and then calls out Iwami. But these fucking snakes kidnapped Haruka and now have a gun to her head. Iwami does the Yakuza shirt thing because he thinks he's cool. He's not, and Sugai gets a pipe and they proceed to beat the hell out of Kiryu, who can't fight back because of the situation Haruka is in. This is why Kiryu is about to light your whole shit up. You can't even have a fair fight. As Kiryu's getting his ass beat, the Hirose homies roll up, save Haruka, and now the Dragon and Dojima is about to show Iwami why he should have stayed out of the Yakuza. For the final time in the Kiryu saga, our man shows everyone why back tattoos are cool and proceeds to beat the fuck out of Iwami's punk bitch, two-time and fake-ass Jackie Chan looking model ship building ass. Kiryu is about to finish Iwami, but of course no one checks the bad guys for guns, and Sugai pops one in Nagumo, misses Haruka twice at almost point blank range, and fires another bullet just as Yuta steps in to protect his family. But no way! Kiryu took the bullet? In a Yakuza Kiwami-like flashback, Kiryu steps in to protect his family and takes 2 more bullets before Nagumo puts Sugai down. Sugai tries to get away, but ends up taking his own life. Seriously, is no one gonna take the gun from the guy? Daidoji flatlines and Kiryu passes out. No. Is this the end of the dragon? Black screen. 1 month later, Nagumo is looking after Someya's daughter with Kiyomi? She's alive? Turns out the gun Koshimizu had was actually loaded with blanks, and Kiyomi never actually got shot. Yuta and Haruka are heading back to Okinawa, where they can raise Haruto around the rest of the Morning Glory family, and the real heads of the Tojo are out of prison. Majima's ready to avenge the fuck out of Kiryu-chan's death, but Daigo has other plans. In a very chilling cutscene that I highly recommend everyone checks out for themselves, and a letter of final request, Kiryu asks Daigo not to avenge him, and Daigo intends to honor his wishes. Akiyama is reminiscing with Date and calls him out on his bullshit because he knows Date's keeping secrets about Kiryu. Turns out Akiyama is actually really smart because Kiryu isn't dead? Nani? While recovering from his wounds, Kiryu is approached by a mysterious politician who wants to buy Kiryu's silence. Kiryu agrees only if they meet certain conditions. They must let Daigo out of prison, and they have to fake Kiryu's death. Date doesn't agree with the whole situation, but by going into hiding and giving up his quote-unquote life, Kiryu is making a last-ditch effort to keep his family and the ones he holds dear safe. I mean, over 6 games, none of his other ideas have worked, so I guess it's worth a shot at this point. Kiryu takes one final look at his family and then disappears. The legend that was the dragon of Dojima is finally over. And that's Yakuza 6. Kiryu tried to protect the ones he holds dear for 7 straight games, only to finally say, fuck it. Remember that promise he made to the Morning Glory kids about coming back? Yeah, he broke that and disappeared into obscurity. I'm curious though, you guys think he made the right call? Let me know in the comments. If you found this video helpful or at all entertaining, please be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. We have finally finished the Yakuza series, so tell me guys, what other games do you want to see explained? I have a couple ideas and I've received some really good suggestions so far, but I want you to tell me what you want to watch so we can make some more explained videos. As we continue the explained series, please bear with me. As always, these videos take time to create. Some of these games I need to replay to get the full experience, and Blanca, as always, is a very busy boy with a young family full-time job and a growing live stream. If you'd like to hang out with us on the live stream, join the family on Discord or connect on any of the socials. All my links can be found in the description below. I'm LaMuerteBlanca, and I'll catch you guys next time.